Hi there, this is John Anthony Francis Wilcox, and today is Saturday, the 27th of July, 2024. How you doing? Before we get into, talky stuff, um, something I was going to talk about at length today, but I decided I'm not going to, is I've been dealing a lot with, if there's a word to describe this week for me, it would be depression. I've just been I don't know. I think I've been very, or is it disappointment? I hear from very few people. I've mentioned this before, but that includes you guys watching this. The phone doesn't ring. People don't want to come by. People don't want to spend time with me, even online. I don't get much at all. And it's dealing with that. It's dealing with the reality of your life, your family and friends, and how important you hope you would be versus how important to them you in fact are. But I'm not going to get into that any further. Just that was what I was going to talk about. So many things to talk about regardless of that. First off, um, fun, cute drawing that my former editor Jim Salicrup over at Marvel, and nowadays he's an editor at a place called Paper Cuts, did for me of Mary Jane from Spider-Man last week, last Saturday. I wasn't at the event, but he gave it to a friend of mine for me. Thank you, Jim Salicrup. Um, let's talk about this. This is called Meow by Ann Moses, and I just finished reading this about I don't know 15, 20 minutes ago. Let's see what time it is. Less than more like 15, 16 minutes ago. So, um, Anne was the editor, first a writer, and then became editor in chief of Tiger Beat. She started writing for them around 65, 66 until 72. And I just got this book Thursday and I just couldn't stop reading it. It was an effort to stop now and then. Or I would have just read it one day, but I would have stayed up all night. So I just finished it. Fantastic book. Interesting stories. Um, like I said, Tiger Beat. So it wasn't quite my gig, because Tiger Beat was mostly geared towards preteen girls, and I was never that. But during her time, who she worked with was fascinating. Um, a lot of stuff with the Monkees because the magazine had cut an exclusive deal with them, just as they later had done with the show Here Come the Brides and the Partridge Family. Um, Interesting tales about again the Monkees, Bobby Sherman, uh, the Bee Gees, some real stuff there. Um, all sorts of folks. The Cowsills, the Partridge Family, the Osmonds, um, Harry Nilsson, all sorts of folks. Fascinating, fascinating, well written book. I highly recommend if you like to read some interesting stuff, behind the scenes stuff. Very, very well done. So, also, let's talk about a movie. So, this is The Boy and the Heron by Hayao Miyazaki. Um, Brilliant Japanese director. Did several of my favorite movies: My Neighbor Totoro, Princess Mononoke, just all sorts of stuff. This is his latest and what he has said is his last film, even though he said the film before, The Wind Rises, was his last film. So, but we'll take his word for now. it's such a dense movie. There's so much going on. It's about loss, coping with loss, creation, life, spirituality. It's not a kid's film. Even though it's animated, it's not a kid's film. I think kids would go, huh? Although there's some visual things that would stun them, just beautiful things. Um, it's a film I would recommend people watch. I don't watch it dubbed in English because I believe in watching films in the language they were made in. So I watched it in Japanese with subtitles, as I do with all Japanese stuff. I hate dubs. They go from the the subtlety of the original performance to someone who talks like this, and I don't need that. But I will say to you that this The Boy and the Heron, which by the way is an international title. The real title of the film is How Do You Live? That's how it was intended to be, but I think they felt that was too obscure, odd. So they felt that The Boy and the Heron, because there is a boy in it and there is a heron in it. So The Boy and the heron it is. Um, as always with Miyazaki stuff, it looks so beautiful. Um, Good old hand drawn animation, and it's very again, it requires your attention. I think if you miss a minute of this movie, you have to watch the whole thing over again because everything in there has a purpose in there. You'll go, why is this thing there? By the end of the film, you'll go, oh, because without that, there wouldn't have been that. So it's a necessary thing. So what else has been going on in the Wilcox life? uh, work Working away on stuff for Prog Sheet. My usual, I read in fact, I have to read it when I finish with this. My Magnificat. I read my Mass every single day, and I read um, New and Old Testament passages from the Bible twice a day. So that's part of my routine. Um, oh, yesterday I had my friend Joan was going to ShopRite, and I had her get me some provolone and some ham and some mortadella and some wonderful Portuguese rolls, and that equaled killer great sandwiches, which I'll have over the next few days too, till I use up everything. Good stuff, good stuff, good stuff. I hope you're all doing well. I hope some of you decide to be in touch with me. If not, it's every other week, isn't it? So I love you all. I'll see you all. Bye bye.